There are two types of people out there, the ones who love the Soul Reaver series and the ones who never play them. This video is dedicated to the latter. The remaster of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 will give newcomers a fresh way to experience these iconic titles while maintaining the essence of the original games. But what should newcomers really expect from this series when it comes to story, gameplay, tone, tips and tricks? Let's find out, shall we? Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and its sequel Soul Reaver 2 feature a dark, intricate story set in a world where vampires rule. Our protagonist named Raziel is a former vampire who is betrayed and transformed into a soul-devouring wrath. The series explores themes of betrayal, revenge, fate, and redemption. The story is presented with complex character development and philosophical undertones, particularly focusing on Raziel's quest to uncover the truth about his transformation and his place in the world. Both games have gothic and tragic atmosphere, heavily influenced by dark fantasy. The world of Nosgoth is bleak, with a sense of impending doom and decay. Raziel's journey is one of vengeance, but also a deeper philosophical reflection on power, control, and the cyclical nature of life and death. The tone can be somber but also rich in intrigue with constant twists. Even though Kain is initially portrayed as the antagonist, his character becomes more nuanced over the course of the series. Raziel's relationship with Kain is complex, as the two are not just enemies but bound by destiny and a shared past. Expect philosophical dialogue and moments of revelation that challenge your understanding of who the so-called good guys and bad guys are in this story.
With a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. And as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that.
Both games emphasize exploration and puzzle solving within large interconnected environments. Players need to use Raziel's wraith powers to navigate various locations and overcome obstacles. The original PS1 controls could be a bit clunky, so newcomers will benefit from the additional updated controls in this remaster, which should provide smoother movement and better camera handling. In Soul Reaver, combat involves using Raziel's Wraith Blade and a variety of vampiric powers, which allow him to absorb souls to regain health and occasionally gain new abilities. While combat isn't the primary focus of the series, there are engaging enemy encounters and bosses, with some requiring specific powers or strategies to beat them. While the remastered version will likely make the combat feel more fluid, it is still expected to use environmental interaction and a mix of physical and magical attacks to beat your opponents. A core game mechanic is Raziel's ability to switch between material world and the spectral realm. This shifting mechanic plays a significant role in puzzle solving, as certain obstacles or enemies are only interactable in one of the two planes. The Soul Reaver games are known for their rich lore, and some hidden lore elements are scattered throughout the world. Newcomers should pay attention to the environmental storytelling, where the game reveals pieces of the world's history, character backstories, and foreshadowing of later events. In both Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2, secret areas and hidden power-ups can be found. Players can unlock new abilities or upgrades for Raziel, such as new vampiric powers and increased health. Players should expect the remaster rewarding exploration and thoroughness, same as the original titles. Soul Reaver is known for its memorable voice acting. Raziel's voice in particular is one of the standout features, often regarded as one of the best performances in video game history. Expect sharp, philosophical dialogue that adds depth to the narrative and themes of the game.
This city once teemed with the life of my kind. Could it be that other clans had suffered the same fate as mine? In his madness, could Kain spare none of his brood?
The series also stands out for its strong cinematic cutscenes, and the remaster will enhance these sequences to make them more visually compelling while retaining the emotional gravitas of the original game. So Reaver 1 is the introductory game that introduces players to Raziel's origin story and his quest for revenge against Kain. The gameplay involves a lot of exploration in a relatively open world with multiple areas and hidden locations to explore. The game mechanic of switching between material and spectral planes are heavily emphasized. The sequel picks up immediately after the events of the first game and introduces more story-driven elements. Raziel is on a quest to uncover the mysteries of the past, often traveling back in time to manipulate the events that led to his transformation. So Reaver 2 features more cinematic cutscenes, time manipulation mechanics and story depth, making it feel more like a direct continuation of the narrative. While it might feel like So Reaver 2 is a less open world game with its smaller map, important to note that time traveling plays a huge role in the second game, thus Raziel will visit multiple versions of the same locations. So Reaver 1 focuses on Raziel's journey for vengeance, while So Reaver 2 delves deeper into the mystery of Nosgoth and Raziel's destiny. The tone of the second game is more about uncovering secrets and confronting fate.
The scenes I discovered here were unambiguous. This race of winged beings, the architects of the pillars and the creators of the Reaver, were Nosgoth's first vampires.
With these in mind, newcomers to the Legacy of Kain So Reaver series should be ready for a hauntingly beautiful and thought-provoking adventure in the remastered versions of these classic games. I was Gabe, and I catch you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming.